Hello, welcome back to the Peacock Homestead. This is Liz Peacock. Today I wanted to show you how I cook my chicken bone broth. I take all the carcasses and the drippings from the chickens that we have for chicken dinner, and I put that all in a big stock pot, and I add spices. This time I added salt, pepper, bay leaf, and rosemary. And I cook that for at least 5 hours, but some people cook it for 24 hours, some people cook it for 10 hours. It depends on how much time you have. And so I cook that up, and then I process it in a pressure canner. For anything that is low acid food, you want to cook it in a pressure canner. And I would definitely do your own research just so you have a better understanding. And I do have a book that I really, really love, and I go by it all the time, and it's called Nourishing Broth, an old-fashioned remedy for the modern world, by Sally Fallon Morale, and it has the science behind it. Then it has different recipes in there, and it also has some folklore in there. It is an amazing book, and it will help you with any questions, and it'll definitely explain so much more than I can. But this chicken bone broth is really good for gut health. It's good for bone and cartilage health, and it's even good for maintaining your weight, and it does so much more. And the other benefit of it is you're taking all your scraps and you're making something new out of it, and you're stocking your shelf with stuff that you know what's in it, and healthy, nourishing broth. So it is another benefit for your family. Here I am filling all of my quart jars to the first line, and it is super hot, so be careful. I had to let it sit for 5 minutes before I even started pouring it in my jars, but I made sure my jars were hot as well. I just put them in a hot water bath and rinsed them in my sink, and then I started filling them. And you're going to want to use hot water as well to put in your pressure canner. Make sure everything is the same temperature, and you'll have less breakage in your jars. going to clean the rims. I'm going to use this distilled vinegar, 5%. It's just regular white vinegar. And I make sure that I clean them very well because I know there's some fat in these jars that might have got on the edge, and it'll mess up with my sealing. I won't let it seal. And then if you do not have a jar that seals, you can always put it in the refrigerator, but making sure they're nice and clean will make a better seal. It will, the percentage of your seal rate will be a lot higher than if you don't. I do suggest using vinegar if you're working with more of a fatty food like this. And so I'm going to clean all these rims, and then I'm going to put the lids on, and I'm going to put them all in the canner and get that ready to can up. And right here I am putting the rings on finger tight. You're going to want to make sure they're only finger tight, because if you over tighten them, they will kind of implode. I've done that before with a few things, and I'm like, oh geez, I should have put them on finger tight. I was manhandling the jars. But it's good for trial and error. But this is what they look like before going in. I filled my canner to the first line here, and then I added about a teaspoon to a tablespoon of vinegar, because if you have hard water like I do, it leaves a residue on your cans and it does not look pretty. But you can actually take that off afterwards when they're all cooled. Take that off with vinegar as well, and then you can label it and put the jars away. So as soon as your lid is locked and everything's locked into place, you are going to turn up the heat, and everything should all be hot, your jars, your liquid, so you can turn that right up to high. And you're going to vent for 10 minutes. The little middle button comes up and you'll vent that for 10 minutes. You'll put the weight on, and then you bring it up to pressure. In my area is 14 psi. And after your canner comes up to pressure, you're going to turn it down to, I would say, a medium. But if it's your first time using your canner, then I would definitely keep an eye on any canner, any pressure canner. Keep an eye on it to see how your oven works with your pressure canner. And it usually comes with an owner's manual as well. You can refer to that. And after your 25 minutes is up, after processing for 25 minutes, you have to wait for the canner to cool down and the pressure to release. That takes about 10 to 15 minutes, and then you can take the lid off when the button goes down, because you want to make sure you are safe and your family is safe. And you wait till the little button comes down, you take the lid off, and be very careful and use oven mitts, because that is super hot. And you're going to hear all kinds of popping, which is good. And you let that sit until the very next day around the same time when you pressure can it, and then you can put it on your shelf. If you do have one that doesn't seal, you can always let that cool and put it in the fridge and use it up for the week. So please be careful, and I wish you luck on your journey of canning your chicken bone broth. hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!